So here I will start Linux administration with basics, very basics I will
Yeah,
start.
yeah, sure.
Like if you already have knowledge also, still my classes are designed for freshers.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Freshers to up to 4.5 years experience. I will start with basics only.
yeah.
Okay, up to 4 years, 4.5 years experience, whatever is required, that knowledge I'll give here for sure. Directly, I'll not show the configuration,
Yeah, yeah, it's
services, I will
right.
not explain anything.
Yes.
First, I'll explain what is Linux,
Mhm.
why Linux means what are the features we have in Linux operating system. Like we already have Windows, which is user friendly, which we are using. Then why this Linux? Why people are switching to Linux? Why technologies are coming with Linux? Okay, so that I'll explain first, and after that, once we install operating system, Linux operating system, what we get by default along with Linux operating system, that I will explain. Okay, so like default directories. See, when we install Windows operating system, A and B are reserved for floppy. Whether we are using or not, A and B are reserved for floppy. It starts creating the drives from C. Okay, so once you open C drive, you can see default folders. Any idea what are the folders we have in Windows in C drive?
Like
Like in your
pictures,
exactly,
so, yeah,
exactly.
then files, then document, whatever the things we have installing means we have by default we have like hmm, some of the program files, temp files, users.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Same like that in Linux also we get directories. In Windows we call folder. In
Mm.
Linux we call directories. So what are the default directories we get along with the operating system? Default directories in Linux. In Windows we call folders.
I
In
am
Linux we
able
call,
to see only the slide 2. Are you in slide 2?
yeah, introduction
Okay,
slide.
okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah. I mean that slide only, not changed anything.
okay.
So I'll explain about that directories of Linux. Like we have directories. These are the file system hierarchy. These are the default directories which we get in Linux. Okay, so about these directories, what is the use of these directories? Everything I'll explain one by one. Everything I'll explain. In further classes, I will show practically also.
Yeah.
Okay, so after this, I'll show you how to install Linux operating system. So before showing installation, first I'll explain this all. What is Linux? What are the advantages we have in Linux? Why Linux? Why people are switching to Linux? All this I will explain. And after that, I will show how to install Linux operating system. Okay, so once OS is installed, basic commands I'll explain, like how to log in into Linux machine, who can log in, how to log in. So today is just introduction.
Yeah,
Here, timings is okay, right, for you? 8 to 9
yeah, yeah.
p.m.
Yes.
Then Monday to Friday classes will be for Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday, no class, but you can contact me on Telegram. There is a Telegram group which is
Okay.
already created. That is private group,
Okay.
not the group where you're getting all the uh, like advertisements broadcast. They are saying, no, no, this is not that group. This is separate group. Only we will be there in that group. I'll be there.
Mm.
So Saturday and Sunday, if you are practicing anything, not only on Saturday, Sunday,
Mm.
in regular days also.
Okay.
Okay, so you can contact me on Telegram. Any doubts you have,
No.
you can contact me through Telegram. You can message me on
Actually, I
Telegram.
didn't have
It's
Telegram account. I have to open it. Yeah.
yeah, create it so that we can communicate there.
Yeah.
Like anytime, if you not only while doing the course.
Okay. And
After finishing
one
the
thing, what is the duration of this course? Means how many months exactly it will take?
Linux, a 1 month course Linux.
Okay. Full admins, everything it will cover in
Linux
1 month.
administration,
Uh,
day wise, not included Saturday, Sunday.
that's one I'm asking. It will take
Yeah,
in 30 days. It will complete it.
yes, yes. I'll
Okay.
take completely like system administration part and network administration part. Completely, I'll explain.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So, any doubts are there practically or theoretically? You can message me on Telegram. Even in classroom, also,
Yeah.
something I'm explaining the concept. You're not clear in the concept. Immediately, you can ask me, or we have chat box, right? You can message me there.
Yeah.
Okay. So today just introduction. In the next class, I'll explain about advantages of Linux, and after that, file system hierarchy. My screen is visible, right?
Yes. Yes. It's visible.
And after finishing this, I'll show how to install the operating system using VMware software also. So for practicing purpose, how to install it, I will show you. Everything I'll explain theoretically and practically. Starting advantages of Linux file system hierarchy, that is theory part only. And after OS installation, basic commands like how to enter into operating system. After installing the operating system, how to enter it, how to log in into your computer, and what are the users are there, what's the difference, that I will explain. And after that, how to create files, how to create directories. Directories are folders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so basic classes, basic commands, almost it will take 4 days class, like list commands,
Yeah. Create
creating
the
files
then
using
removing
cat,
MB,
access,
BIM, touch,
exactly, touch,
LSM,
vi,
hyphen LTR.
exactly, va, mkdir, creating directories,
Yeah.
move command, copy
Go.
command, delete command, cut command. For all this, it will take 3 4 days time. VA editor, I will explain separately because in real time we use VA editor only. Even in shell scripting also we use
Yeah.
VA
Yeah.
editor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one day I will explain VA editor. VIM, how to use it, what are the options we have,
Mm.
everything like what are the commands we have using VI, how to use the commands, everything I'll show. With point to point, everything I'll show. And after finishing this, I'll explain basic shell commands. or we can say filter commands. These
Like
commands are
grip.
used to check content of a file as per user requirement.
Okay.
Basic shell commands or filter commands. These
Like
commands are
grip command, no? Grip.
exactly. Grep command, tail, head,
Tail, head,
less, more,
-10.
sort,
Okay.
exactly, sort, all these commands. SCD, all these commands I'll explain here.
Okay.
So this one day we'll discuss about this. And after this, user administration. I'll explain user administration. Like what is user, how to create users, how to modify the users. All this I'll explain.
Like read write SS and only read SS, then
No.
owner
No.
SS,
That is
that one.
separate. That is separate again.
Okay.
User administration is separate and this is separate. That is separate. User
Okay.
administration. Group administration. What is group? What is the use of group? How to add users into group?
Okay.
All this I'll explain here. And after that, basic file permissions. One moment. Sorry. Mobile test. Basic file permissions. In basic file permission, what is permissions? How to modify the permissions? Who can modify the permissions? What permissions we have, like read, write, execute permissions. That I will explain here. Then after that, ACLs, advanced file permission. How to change the ownership of a particular user or a particular group, how to change the permission to a particular user for a file or directory, or how to apply permission to a particular user or a particular group of people. That I will explain. And after that, partitions. After entering into the operating system, if there is free space in your computer, how to use that space for creating partitions. How to use that space for
Okay.
creating partitions. So that I will show here. Okay. So partitions we can create standard partitions, LVMs, RAID, swap partitions. We can create different type of partitions. Swap partition, logical volumes, RAID partitions. So partitions we can create in
Like,
different types.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah, like we are mounting some value later on in that
exactly,
application.
exactly, exactly. So all this I'll explain theoretically and practically also. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Theoretically and practically also, I will show all this. Am I audible, Saswati?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Then network introduction. What is network? How to connect multiple pieces together, how to assign the IP addresses, how to change the host name, computer name. The basics I'll explain here. And
Okay.
after that, backup and restore. How to take the data backup from one system to another system, how to restore the data back. That I'll explain here. Then data sharing servers, or we can say services. Data sharing servers or services like NFS,
Okay.
Samba, FTP, how to share the data from one system to another
Yeah.
system. And what is the difference between these services? That will explain
Normally, we are
after.
using NFS like a networking file system and file
Exactly.
transfer
NFS we
protocol.
use within
While in
within Linux
Azure,
for sharing we use NFS.
yeah, Azure for and while we are deploying in S3 bucket, we
Yes,
are
yes,
using the
exactly.
same. So Samba, I'm not aware of it. Uh,
Samba is used to share the data from one system to another system between different platforms but within a network.
okay.
Okay. All this FTP server, this I'll explain. One moment.
Yeah,
Just hold.
yeah.
And after this, Apache web server.
Yeah.
Apache, which is used
NG,
to deploy the web pages.
yeah,
Apache is used to deploy the
NGS,
web pages.
NGNX,
Yeah. HTML,
NGNX.
how to use
Yeah,
HTML in Linux, that I will explain here.
yeah.
DHCP, which is used to assign IP addresses automatically.
Okay,
So how to use, how to assign the IP addresses automatically, I'll explain using DHCP. And after that, DNS, which is used for converting IP to name and name to IP.
okay,
Okay. So DNS server, I'll explain. Then NIS, Network Interconnection Service, which is used to control all the PCs centrally. NIS is used to control the PCs in a network centrally. About NIS, I'll explain. Okay. And also we have SSH, many other topics are the small topics,
okay,
breaking super user password, all this we have. So these are the main topics which we cover in Linux administration part. You may have idea, but in deep
no,
we'll
oh,
discuss about this
yeah,
all
yeah.
the
I
topics. Yeah.
have overall idea, but I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have very
yeah,
depth
yeah.
knowledge.
Yes, yes.
That's why I
Complete
opted.
when we discuss completely about all these topics theoretically and practically, you'll get
Yeah,
good understand about this.
yeah.
And as I told you, in classroom, whatever I explain, I will explain theoretically and practically. I will explain all the topics. Any doubts you have, you can ask me in the classroom itself. And whatever the topics I'm explaining, something if I'm explaining the topic means I'll make a note like this and I'll share with you through Telegram.
Okay,
Everyday notes I will share.
yeah,
So if you want to maintain your own notes, you can maintain. Even I
okay,
will share the notes. From
okay,
my side also, I'll share the notes like this. Something I'm explaining means step by step, everything I'll share the notes.
okay.
Okay. You want to ask me anything, Saswati?
No, Madhuri.
And the classes, I will go slowly only. I'll not explain fastly. But still, you have any doubts? If any point is not clear, as it definitely you can ask me. In classroom, if you are not asking also, uh, in Telegram also you can ask me.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, Madhuri.
And tomorrow also demo class only.
Okay.
So you can join.
Yeah. Then 12th onward, it will be started.
Yes.
Okay.
So tomorrow we have the demo class. You can attend. And if you think you're able to understand what I explained, you can continue with the classes.
Yeah, sure. So now we wrap up the
Yeah, you can
section.
leave for today.
Yeah, thank you, Madhuri.
Thank you so much, Saswati. Anything you want to ask? Any questions, any doubts regarding the classes?